Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing our first Q&A for this week, leading up to the series finale for Game of Thrones. In this one, we'll start with giving our thoughts after that huge episode 5, the ending that no one wanted. Alright, and I definitely want to see how you guys are feeling about this one. Definitely leave your comments below. Spoiler warning for anyone who has not seen episode 5 yet. You're definitely going to want to watch it before you watch this discussion topic video. But I couldn't wait to do this one with you guys. I wanted to do it straight away, first one, because I wanted to see how you guys are feeling about this one. It has been, 9 years? Because we missed, we had to wait a little bit for the 8th season. But 8 seasons of absolutely incredible series, and in the end we have one last episode left this upcoming Sunday, and how are we feeling? Is this the ending people wanted to see for Game of Thrones? This one is really tricky. We'll see when it's all said and done in the very end who's still alive and whether or not Daenerys is even still alive. A lot of us are expecting she probably won't be. Right, so we'll see if Jon or somebody has to actually put her down. But a lot of people pretty upset from what I saw, and I kind of figured that they would be after what they saw in episode 5 and what they witnessed, and Daenerys basically deciding to massacre. I'd say it's a massacre. Some people missed it. You have a few people here who's basically saying, like Taylor McDonald says, what? Dany's no villain. So I read that as her trying to say, or Taylor, I think it's a girl, could be a male too, but I read that as what Taylor's saying is like in denial, like she's not a villain. She just massacred the capital. She just killed. Do you know it's a massacre? It's a genocide. She just genocided the whole place. She just lit the entire place up when they had surrendered. If that doesn't make her a villain, I don't know what is. If you talk about the numbers, the pure numbers, she just probably became the number one killer in the series. The character that has killed more people directly than anyone else in the entire history of the show, from the very first season, from the very first premiere up until now. Some people here are comparing her to Joffrey and saying that she made Joffrey look like nothing. And that's true, because Joffrey was a little prick, and he would mess with people, and he would screw with people. But when you look at the bigger picture, how many people did Joffrey actually cause to kill or be killed? There was a war. There was stuff that happened as a result of his actions with Eddard. And so he was bad too. And he was one that would have been one of those that caused a lot of the deaths in the series. And thousands or tens of thousands did die as a result of his decisions with Eddard, and then the North rising up with Robb and everybody else coming after him, and Cersei and everything. So Cersei is responsible for a lot of deaths too. But this is one where the city had rang the bells. They had actually surrendered, and you saw her burn the entire thing, basically burn it up, destroy the whole thing. To the point now where when you see her in the preview and she's looking, at the city, and you see all the Unsullied, you see all the Dothraki, screamers, as King Robb had said, right? Because he wanted to basically, and it goes right back to the very beginning of the series, Eddard wouldn't do it, but he wanted to take her out. He wanted to take Daenerys out because he knew what could happen, and I guess he got to see in it. It sounded like a very villainous thing to say, because you got this little girl. She's not, as Emilia Clarke is, as Daenerys is, she's not very physically big. Even back then when the series started, she's like this little girl, and to have to put her down, they're having that discussion. It reminds me of the first season where they're like, maybe it's even, and you're as a viewer, you're totally against. You're like, no way, kill Daenerys. How could you do it? It's so terrible, because she's just. But they kind of had some inkling or some idea of where the apple is going to fall from that tree, and the tree that it falls from or hangs from is some dragon, fire, infused tree of death, right, or something. I don't know. So this one was really crazy to see, and I want to see where everyone is at with this one. But in what we saw here, maybe, even the Night King, I don't think killed that many people as the series went through. She's got to be the number one for the one that's killed the most people in the series. Correct me if I'm wrong. She just wiped out the capital, or at least it depends. Sometimes the visuals can be a bit misleading. I'm sure there's still a lot of people that are still alive in there because it'd be impossible to nuke bomb the whole place and wipe it out with a mushroom cloud. But it's kind of like that when you see it. It's pretty close to that. And then she just decimated the whole place. So there's still going to be probably maybe half the population or a little less than that, I think. But that's open to interpretation, and you guys can leave your comments below. How many people do you think are actually still alive in King's Landing? How many do you think she killed? What's the number? Like, try to put a number on it. How many people do you think she just killed when they surrendered at the end of episode 5? It's crazy stuff, man. Really crazy. So where do we go from here? I did a video predictions for the finale episode and what I think we're going to see, what I think is going to happen. And they're going to have to rebuild. I mean, the city is decimated. I don't know if she'd even want it at this point. Is she going to want to build her kingdom there? Is that where she's going to want to go? Or is she going to sack the city, as they've kind of already been kind of doing, and just take all the resources and just basically leave everybody for dead? I mean, it's really a crazy situation right now. I really don't know what to say. It's certainly not the ending that I would have hoped to, I guess, see for the series. But at the same time, it doesn't surprise me either. But I do feel sad for Daenerys fans, because here you had this character who was a hero, a strong heroine, and breaker of chains, one that would always show mercy, one that would do that. And slowly but surely this season, she has completely flipped from that, to showing absolutely no mercy and killing innocents by the however many hundreds of thousands or however many tens of thousands or whatever the number is. And you guys can comment about that. Is it hundreds of thousands? Is it tens of thousands? Is it just thousands? No. Okay, it can't be just thousands. It's got to be up there in terms of number. Clever Boy 86 said, plot twist, the people on the ground were the fans. And that's true, man. The people on the ground that were being absolutely decimated, that was her fans. That was her fans that she just did that to. So that is just unbelievable. I'm wondering how many people are going to follow her into this darkness and still root for her, even after what she did. I mean, I can't imagine too many people will, but, I don't know. We'll see. She has a lot of charisma. There's a lot of girls who really like her a lot. Guys, too. But it's so crazy to see. Biggest tantrum ever, said Stone Rose Soaps. But, what did you guys expect to see for a finale for the series? Did you think that this would be, it's the quote about, if you think this is a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention, right? Gabe Ginorio repeated that again. So we've been saying that a lot lately. In the last month, I probably said it 20 times or something now. But it seems to be true, right? I'm happy in some ways. I'm happy that Cersei didn't defeat Daenerys as a hero, because, not Cersei, Daenerys was still a hero and a good guy, and Cersei actually just beat her and just continued to rule and killed everybody. That would be a worse ending, I do have to admit. If Cersei had just won and killed Jon and killed Daenerys, that would have been, and Sansa and everybody else, like, just cleaned house, like, killed everybody. That would have been a worse ending than what we're seeing right now, I do think. So this could have been worse if Cersei had actually just won. I'm glad she didn't win. I am glad Daenerys and Jon have won, but Daenerys in the process has become something different than what she was. She's not Daenerys anymore. She is, but she isn't at the same time. So that's kind of a sad, kind of a guilty feeling that I have for liking Daenerys because of what she's done, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are on the same page with that one. So let me know what you're thinking, man. It's not really a happy ending. It isn't, which kind of saddens me, because I kind of wanted to see her and Jon together, and the two of them kind of just live out their lives and have peacetime, and that feels wrong now. If they do that, I mean, it doesn't feel right. I feel like Jon would be being submissive to this crazy tyrant, and she's just killing people and sacking the city. Just, oh my God, it's just brutal, man. JJ says, didn't like how Jaime and Cersei died and how easily the Golden Company was taken out, and Harry Strickland's character being pointless. Well, they got their asses handed to them. Drogon turned out to be a nuke bomb. He turned out to come in and be, the alpha dragon, the only one that was necessary, and it was it. You know what I mean? He turned out to be the most powerful character in the series, and at Daenerys' command, that makes Daenerys the most powerful when he's around. So, crazy stuff, man. And they all were pointless against Drogon when he was unleashed. When the beast was unleashed, it was all pointless. None of it was even anything. It was all, and I felt kind of bad for Cersei because she seemed really full of pride and really strong, and she really thought that she was going to pull this one out. They'd killed one of the dragons before, but that it turns out that it wasn't Drogon, right? It was Rhaegal, who's probably not nearly as, probably half, as strong as, maybe not even as Drogon, who's a really fearsome, formidable, full-on adult, alpha dragon. Andrew Patterson says, hot take, what Daenerys did was 100% in character. That's a tricky one, right? In character for the new Daenerys and who she is now and the way she's been acting this season. It's not in character for what we used to see from her. But when you lop someone's advisor's head off just like that for no reason, like Cersei did, and her final words are "burn it." Is it natural? It doesn't feel contrived. It feels natural. And Grey Worm as well too. He's doing the same thing. So, and again, we have to put ourselves in her shoes. This isn't her city. She's not from here. She doesn't know. We've seen this location since the very first season, right? Since the beginning of the series. She hasn't. These aren't her people. She doesn't know them. So, when they kill Missandei and they do these things like this, Grey Worm and her, they don't know these people. They're not her people. So I thought it was, for him to say it's 100% in character, it is, but in who she is now. And she's changed now. What's happened has changed her. The wars have changed her. And she, maybe that sensitive, softer side she had with Jon is... Maybe it's not there anymore after Missandei and the other things she's seen and the Night King and the battle and everything. And she probably did feel at a point like maybe she wouldn't won. She lost one of her dragons, and so, which is like her children. So that's part of it too, and Missandei as well, and Jorah. So she lost a lot to get here. So she's not the same as she was. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you I think it's contrived or it's not a natural turn or a natural change. I think it is natural, considering all the stressors and losing people and everything she's seen around. And, there was probably a point there where she went in, with Drogon thinking maybe she could lose. And once she realized she had won, she's just like, F this, I'm going to just destroy them now. Because she realized she was in the power position. She was the most powerful, and she let the power loose. She let loose her power and couldn't reel it back in time. She just wanted to destroy everything. It just consumed her. Power overwhelming, right? So that's what it was. Bloodee Jacob says, absolute masterpiece. It's a shame more aren't appreciating it while they can. So I agree with him. It is artistically, in a way, right? Like it's an artistic masterpiece. It's not what the fans probably wanted. They wanted to see Cersei lose, fail, maybe not surrender, but fight to the death, maintain her villainous side of her, do absolutely anything she could, scratch and claw and wildfire and whatever else, and then have Daenerys win and Daenerys kill her. That's the ending that probably most people wanted, so Daenerys could stay a good guy and not kill all the innocents and do the right thing in the end. But she ended up kind of, becoming something different as it played out, and the Lannisters sort of came back a bit, and they kind of became, a lot of sympathy in them at the end. Not good guys, but, kind of in a way, when they're just trying to survive, and Cersei's trying to protect her baby and survive, doing what she can, right? Summer S was the one who said she made Joffrey look like a great ruler, right? Social Chris says, Daenerys and Viserys, the wrong choice was made. Hussein Noor says, the sound of a dying city is so terrifying. Absolutely true, right? But it happens in real life too. Just look at, a decade ago, when was the war in Iraq, right? CNN's releasing, they had videos, Shock and Awe was one of the videos, and I felt like puking because you just see explosives and everything, and they're like, I don't know, glamorizing it. It's like, no, it's, that's not, you don't glamorize that. You got to feel bad for people going to die. It doesn't matter how surgical, it is. That's terrifying. And we got to see in this episode what it felt like to be on the ground as Arya, as one of the people in King's Landing, as the entire place was being absolutely decimated around them. War is nasty stuff. I wish, in real life too, I wish it would just stop, but, it's probably never going to, and that's just cold, true reality. Caleb Cunningham says Game of Thrones isn't supposed to be what fans want or expect. And we'll finish with this one. If it was Robb Stark, would have been alive, and Sean Bean would be chilling on the throne. So the idea of Game of Thrones not being what fans would want or would expect, the nice story idea. Game of Thrones is not that. He's absolutely right. Game of Thrones is not the nice story kind of idea. I guess people thought in the end that maybe it could change and it would be that nice story to finish things off. In a way, it's like it has a hint of it, because Daenerys does win and we want to see her win. So it's kind of like it has a hint of that, but it's tainted because of what she did to win and how she handled the situation after they surrendered. So, he's right. You can't say that Caleb isn't right here. Caleb is right. Game of Thrones is not a series that just gives people what they want and makes people happy and keeps the fans rooting for it. It's a series that feels more, I would say, natural and more like real life in the real world, and kind of nasty in some ways. And it's definitely not the ending I think anybody wanted to see for the most part. At least, I can't speak for others. Maybe some people are really loving this ending and they're gonna enjoy it through and appreciate that Daenerys has kind of become a bad guy. Some people have hated Daenerys for a long time. I've seen those comments too. So if they've always hated her, maybe they like her more now as a villain, or maybe they hate her even more now. I don't know. But they've kind of demonized her a lot. We'll see how things end off in the final episode. Send me your guys' other questions for the Q&As for this week. That's all I got for today. Predictions video is in the channel for the finale episode. Review for episode 5 is in the channel for that one. Let me know how you guys are feeling. Is this the ending you wanted to see, and are you satisfied with this one, or are you really rejecting of it? I'm saddened for the character. I'm saddened for Daenerys that it had to come to this for her to win. I am happy that she's won, but I'm just really sad to see, mixed emotions, sad to see her become what she had to become in order to win. Absolutely savage, and saddened by that. But I don't think it totally ruins the show, even though it's not the happy ending people maybe wanted to see. It doesn't. I don't think it destroys the show or anything like that. But for other people, maybe they do. And those are the comments I want to see below, is how you guys are feeling. Does it wreck the show for you? Are you accepting of this? Are you rejecting of this? How are you feeling about Game of Thrones in the end, now that there's only one single episode left and it's over? The end. Leave your comments below. Thumb up this video. Thank you guys again for all your support over the years, and I'll see you again soon for another Game of Thrones video, probably tomorrow. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. One left. I'll see you soon.